Auditor General Bonnie Lysyk says that Ontario would have been better prepared for COVID-19 if it had implemented recommendations dating back to SARS.
It's been, 15, 20 years that some of these things are still not fixed in Ontario.
Minister of Health Christine Elliott called the report a disappointment and a mischaracterization of Ontario's pandemic response.
We acted very quickly. We were the first to register coronavirus as an infectious disease that had to be reported. We were also the first to close public schools. We were second right after Quebec in declaring a state of emergency.
Minister Elliott says there are factual issues in the report. In response, Lysyk cited the report was signed off by multiple agencies, including the Ministry of Health.
These reports have been vetted for factual accuracy, and I've letters signed by all the senior people within the province.
The report states the Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. David Williams, and other public health officials did not lead Ontario's response to a public health crisis, to which Minister Elliott provided a confusing response.
We have always followed Dr. Williams' advice. There might be a couple of small issues where we've discussed some potential small changes with him.
The report says Ontario's decision-making process in response to COVID-19 involved too many people, upwards of 500, and that it was not dominated by public health.
The decisions were made by Cabinet and the Premier. In terms of the Chief Medical Officer of Ontario, he provided advice into the command table, which then provided advice to the coordination table, which then looked to a decision by Cabinet and the Premier in Ontario.
During his media briefing, Premier Ford took aim at the Auditor General.
Stick with looking for value for money. Stick with the job that we hired you for. Don't start pretending you're a doctor or a health professional, because I can tell you, you aren't.
The report states that the Ford government paid an American consultant nearly $5 million to structure decision-making and the coordination of all ministries. It also makes clear that Ontario's pandemic response plan hadn't been updated since 2013 when Liberals were in power. And while the Auditor General made clear the report isn't meant to place blame, that's exactly what the opposition is doing.
People are learning that for the first time, and it's very concerning that previous Liberal governments failed this province, and when given the opportunity, this current Conservative government just took us from a situation that was already bad to one that was even worse.
The Auditor General made it very clear today. Doug Ford has betrayed the people of Ontario.
The independent Auditor General doesn't blame any one particular party.
So whoever's governed over the last 15 years, has delayed implementing recommendations that were meant to improve.
The report is divided into 3 audits and is over 230 pages. We'll post the link to chch.com if you want to read the full document. And according to the Auditor General, a second special report containing 3 additional audits will be released in the near future. Back to you.